all of a sudden, Nami, she looks to her left, and Colin's, he's trying to gather materials and go on his own adventure. And Nami looks at him, Colin looks at her, and Colin said, hey, you trying to come with me? I thought you were going to stop me, but if you come with me, hey, I'll be the captain. I'll lead you guys. We got Franky and Ripley just idly going on an adventure. Colin, he's a goat. He's probably more manly than some of the giants. You got hungover and drunk giants sitting up in here throwing up before they're fighting. What a chapter. This is One Piece chapter 1144. Let's get into the review. The chapter starts off with Franky and Ripley. They're still going on their adventure. I find it funny how Ripley, she mentioned that there was an alarm or a horn that sounded, so the forest isn't safe. But at the same time, you know what she decided to do? They're like, let's keep going. Let's keep pressing. Ripley, you were a former warrior. You mean to tell me that you're not gonna go fight? You're not gonna see what's happening? You're just gonna be like, I'm enjoying my little date with Franky. Let's keep going. Nah. That's why that imitation Zeus ended up trying to lightning and freaking electrocute you later in the chapter. But before we get into that, Franky, he arrives at this giant scientific looking thing. It kind of looks like an old bell, but it's really like some form of a cyborg, I guess. We also run into Lilith and Bonnie, who are here as well because, well, they end up getting lost, so they found their way here. And she wanted to show Franky this because he's a cyborg, and obviously Franky's into different things like this. So Franky, he's like, well, don't mind if I do. I want to go and check out what exactly this is. Because according to Lilith, she estimates that it's been here for at least 3,000 years. So that would be way before Joy Boy's time. Emmet and Joy Boy, they had some form of relationship, Luffy and Franky. And then I assume the original Sun God Nika and maybe whatever this creature was, or if something was built from this, maybe that had some relevance to the original Sun God Nika. I talked about a little bit earlier how Ripley ran into one of the things that the children found the most scary, and this with thunder. It honestly looks like a great value version of Zeus. Zeus would definitely go ahead and take this thing down, or even might even absorb it like Perfect Cell. But nevertheless, this group, they're being attacked by thunder. So it's Franky, Ripley, Lilith, and Bonnie. They have to figure out how they're going to take it down. I wonder if Bonnie could turn into maybe Sun God Nika, have a Nika's future, maybe grab lightning similar to Luffy. I think that would be pretty cool. Back with Nami's group, they're dealing with the Draugr, or at least wherever these celebrations happening. I find it funny. I love Brook's reaction here because I had the same reaction whenever I saw the Draugr originally. I was like, this looks like a giant Brook that's cosplaying. And Brook, he's like, whoa, this is surreal. A giant me? How can this be? I also think it's interesting. I get it, right? You don't want guests to necessarily have to handle anything. Typically, whenever there's guests over, you don't ever make them do anything. Like, you invite them to your apartment, you offer them a drink, you offer them food, you don't make them clean up, do the dishes. Nah, you don't do any of that. So I respect it. But I also don't like how the giants, well, number one, they want to live a peaceful life. And so half of them aren't even warriors. But number two, why are they acting like the Straw Hats are helpless, or like they can't help at all? Because, well, I know that this group, right, it's a little bit weaker. I know Jinbei, he's like 99% of the group, but Brook, Nami, and Usopp, like, yes, they're not as strong as the Monster Trio, but they can still do stuff. They're still members of Emperor Straw Hat crew, Luffy's crew. So why are we acting like they would just get in the giant's way? I also love Colin here, how he is like, hey, I want to fight, I want to, be in on the action. I get it, right? He wants to be a warrior, he's Gabban's son and all, but at the same time, in this situation, Colin definitely shouldn't be fighting. He's still a kid. He still doesn't necessarily have the proper training. I do respect it though, because a lot of these pansies or these fake giants, these fake warriors, whatever, the former warriors, I don't really care what they are, right? They're useless. They don't have any backbone, any spine. And Colin, he at least has that. I wonder if later we'll find out if Gabban actually does have Conqueror's Haki, because we know, well, most of it's based off of if you have the qualities of a king or you're striving to be like a ruler over something. And so, that's typically what it is. But sometimes, well, people don't necessarily want to roll over thing and it passes down. Like, for example, Yamato, she has Conqueror's Haki. So I wonder if Gabban is confirmed, if that means later down the line that Colin will end up having Conqueror's Haki. Nami also, she informed Drill, was like, hey, all right, I probably should have said this earlier, probably should have, but I mean, hey, the situation called for it now. There's an intruder, somebody that looks like red hair. And so Jaro, he's like, all right, let me go ahead and make this announcement that there are other humans that pose a threat other than the Straw Hats. At least 2 of them, could be more. This is talking about the Holy Knights, of course. So they're like, hey, be on guard. If you see them, go ahead and take them out. And so the Straw Hats, after being kind of pushed to the side, was like, go ahead and hide somewhere. They're like, you know, we could really be some use, especially if they're dealing with human-sized people. I think we'd definitely be, you know, better off fighting them than the other big monsters that are going around. Obviously, Usopp said that because he's scared, but I mean, technically, he's kind of true. I think they are better suited to handle those gigantic monsters rather than human-sized individuals. And all of a sudden, Nami, she looks to her left, and Colin's, you know, he's trying to gather materials and go on his own adventure. And Nami looks at him, Colin looks at her, and Colin said, hey, you trying to come with me? I thought you were gonna stop me, but if you come with me, hey, I'll be the captain. I'll lead you guys to a proper battle. And Nami, I love her reaction because this is cute, right? Colin, he's adorable, right? He's just a kid, man, just wants to just have fun and just go on an adventure. I love it. And so they end up going with Colin. They escape the other giants, and they're going to go ahead and look for the Holy Knights. But if you guys have made it this far into the video and you're enjoying the content, let me know by leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and hitting the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video. I pump out different One Piece content almost each and every day. We cut to the Holy Knights, and they're doing their own thing. GUNKO, she usually listens to music after eating. They're not even worried about the announcement that's going around. I find it funny because they ask what GUNKO is listening to, and she says New World. And if you guys don't know what that is, it involves what Uta sung in the film Red. Part of that movie's canon, part of it's not. Obviously, it introduced Gear 5th. Obviously, it showcased Uta and Shanks' relationship. We know that that was kind of hinted at in the manga, but never really fleshed out because that was an anime movie thing. But I do find it cool that they're implementing some stuff that doesn't necessarily fully affect the story. Like, let's be honest, do we care if Uta's song is implemented in the manga? Yes, like in terms of like, whoa, that's cool, but in terms of like affecting the story in like such a grand or massive way, no, it doesn't. So it's cool that we get to see this implemented in the story, and they talk about New World because I loved Uta as a character, right? Sucks that she ended up dying, but still, like, seeing somehow, some way her being brought into the story is just dope. And I hope that in the anime that we get like maybe even a melody, maybe an instrumental version. That would be really dope. Saul, I feel bad because buddy, he cannot catch a break. He's like, all right, if I can't touch the kid's paws, it kind of sounded weird when I said that in my breakdown, so I might have to change it up a little bit. But if he can't stop the kids because of the briars, he's like, all right, bet, I'm gonna get shields, I'm gonna, you know, stop them so they don't go. That didn't work, because if you stop them, they bump into each other and they start pricking each other, right, with the thorns, and that causes harm, of course. So Saul, he's like, well, dang it, what the hell am I supposed to do? And so I'll give Saul credit, right? He's trying to stop them from reaching the fire. So he goes in the back, lassos one of them. He's like, dope, all right, I was able to stop him. We can, you know, just start from the back and slowly work our way up. He looks up. The Fenrir here. You mean to tell me these other giants couldn't have stopped the Fenrir? The Draugur's already out somewhere. The Thundercloud's out somewhere. The Nidhogg, or I think something like the dragon. I don't remember. I gotta look back at it, but they're doing something. You mean to tell me nobody could have stopped the Fenrir? Well, I gotta stop the kids, and then I also have to deal with the Fenrir. Chopper, Robin, y'all gotta do something. Y'all gotta do something. Y'all can't just be riding on my shoulder. I need you to put in some Robin, turn into your Demuno flower, take out the Fenrir, Chopper, monster, but something, right? Just don't be the cheerleaders, man. I need help. Speaking of different fears, right? There's the ghost and the Nidhogg. It's attacking different giants. They're running away. There's a thick giant running away. Hey, she ain't 180. She ain't a lady. 210, count your boy in. But with the Nidhogg going crazy, Dorry and Brogy, they sobered up, they threw up, right? You know, when you're hungover, you gotta throw up sometimes, right? Sometimes you gotta eat something, drink water. They're ready for the fight. Hit it with a Hakoku sovereignty. Last time we saw this was, I believe, whenever they attacked Kid's ship, sunk them. Y'all know what happened in that episode. With their ship, the Great Eric, it can transform into a Savar, so it's able to not only travel on the sea, but travel in their air as well. And then we also see Gabban, he has his axes. Now I'm not entirely sure if he's on the ship with them, right? It's kind of hard to tell, or if he's just somewhere like on the ground getting ready to attack. But nevertheless, Scopper Gabban is here, and he's probably gonna go crazy in the next chapter. But that's it for chapter 1144. Nothing about Loki, which is a little bit surprising to me. I honestly thought we were going to transition right into the Loki flashback, but maybe Oda's saving that for next week, because we're not getting a break next week, and then we get the flashback and then we go on break. Gives a lot of us time to be like, whoa, what a plot twist, and analyze different things like that. Let me know how you guys felt about this chapter in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you guys never miss out on a new video from my Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. It's on the screen and in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to unleash your potential.